Hey class, I'm at the Career Expo with the sophomores today. So you get your notes via video. Make sure that you're taking them, make sure that you're copying them down, being respectful, watching the video and paying attention. All right, today our notes we're going to take and do some problems on percents less than 100, and we're going to see some that are more than 100. And so far, we've talked about fractions, finding when we have what fraction is blank of blank, and we've talked about decimals in the same way. Okay, and so we have our fraction times our of equals our is, or our decimal times our of equals our is. We're going to keep that same thought process with percents, but I'm actually going to move it around just a little bit. So when we talk about percents, we could look here and think of percent equals or times of equals is. But you have to remember that your percentage, such as 25%, we can't just type that into our calculator. We want to think of it as our percentage over 100 or of 100. Okay, so we would write it over the 25 over 100. Okay, or the other way that you're going to see it commonly would be this. Percent over 100 equals is over of, or I might say it is over of equals percent over 100. Same thing. The way that they derive this is, see that there's this times of here. Really all they do to get rid of it is divide by of on both sides. So that's where it comes from. Okay, and then it's really nice. All you have to do is plug in what you know and solve for what you don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite that. Percent over 100 equals is over of. All right, let's find those missing parts. 15% of 300 is what number? All right, so 15% goes over our 100, and we don't have to use the percentage sign. Setting our equals, okay, it says is over of. Well, here we have of 300, so that goes in the bottom. And we're looking for is what number? So we don't know that, so we put a variable for those things we don't know. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, we take our 100 times our x, and then we go ahead and we take our 15 times our 300. Go ahead and punch that in on your calculator. 15 times 300 gives us 4,500. Okay, and then we're going to solve it for x. So it's 100 times x, so we go ahead and we divide by 100, cancels out here, and we're left with x equals 45. So 45 of, we have 45 of 30, or 300, is 15%. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and look at our next one. It says, what percent of 8,300 is 996? Okay, keep in mind, percent over 100 equals is over of. Okay, let's fill in what we know. We always are going to throw our 100 in there. Okay, what percent? So this time we don't know what the percent is, and so that gets our x of 8,300, so that goes into the denominator, and then our is 996. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. 8,300 x equals, take your 100 times 996. We get 9,000 or 99,600. Okay, we're gonna get our variable by itself. So divide by 8,300. If you do it to one side, you need to do it to the other side. So it cancels there. And we get our x equal, doing that out on your calculator, 9,000 or 900. Let's try it again. 99,600 divided by 8,300, and we end up with 12. So 12%. So we can put our percent sign there. 12% of 8,300 is 996. All right. Go ahead. I'm going to give you guys some time to think about this one and try and see if you can solve it on your own. 32% of what number is 18? So take some time to go ahead and do this problem out now. Okay, let's see if you just have it set up correctly. How'd you do with this one? This time what we're missing is our of. We don't know what our of is. So 32% of what number is 18? Okay, go ahead and finish solving this if you haven't done so already. All right, so cross multiply 32 times x. Go ahead and multiply your 100 times your 18. We get 1,800. We're going to isolate our x by dividing by 32 on both sides. 1,800 divided by 32. We end up with 56 and 1/4. Or 56.25 for this one. Okay, so really the big thing with this is just making sure that you're finding the correct parts and plugging it in the right spot. All right, now let's look at a few problems where we deal with percentages over 100. Okay, so we're still setting up our same line equals line. It's still percent over 100 equals is over of. Okay, what number is 160% of 60? All right, so let's look for our percent. We get 160% of 60. So there's our of. Okay, and so here our is the unknown. Now think about this one as we work this one out. We're looking for 160% of 60. So should our answer be less than 60 or should our answer be greater than 60? Well, 160% should be greater than 60 because 60 is that 100%. All right, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So take 160 times 60, 9,600. Okay, we want to get x by itself. So we're going to divide by 100 on both sides. So our x equals 96, which seems like a very reasonable answer. It is greater than the 60%. So it's got to be over 160 or the 160. All right. Okay. Go ahead. I want you to try this next one. What percent of 50 is 700? What percent of 50 is 700? All right, so think about this when you're set up. Percent over 100 equals your is over of. Make sure you're plugging into the correct spot. All right, let's talk about it. It says what percent? So we don't know what our percent is, so that's where our variable goes. They tell us of 50, so we're going to put that in place of our of, and then we get is 700. Okay, so 700 is over the 50. That's a bigger number than 50, so we're looking for a percentage that's going to be greater than 100, and I know that right just from looking there. All right, go ahead and cross multiply. So you get your 50x. Go ahead and cross multiply your 100 times your 700. All right, you're going to solve for your variable by dividing by 50 on each side. Go ahead and you want to divide those two. Just want to make sure I'm giving you guys the right one. Oops. Let's see here. I need to type it in correctly first. Okay, so we get our 1,400%. That's a lot, but that's good because that's what we were looking for. Remember, we were looking for something bigger than 100. All right, let's look at this next one. It says, if 75 is increased by 150%, what is the result? So this one's a little bit different than the previous ones because we're not just looking for the percent, the is, or the of. Here, they're saying it's increased by 150%. So first we need to find out is, what's the 150% of the 75? Okay, so we're going to set up 150 over 100. Because we want to find out what 150% is. Now, is 75 my is or my of? If 75 is increased by 150%, what's the result? Okay, so thinking about this, I see the word is here, but don't get misled. The 75 is actually my of in this problem. We need to find out what that 150% of it is to increase it. So 75 is 100%. We see that here, okay? 75 is 100%. So I want to find out what the 150 is. So just like in all our other ones, we're going to cross multiply. So take your 150 times your 75, 11,250. Then we're going to divide each side by 100. All right. So you end up with your x equals 112.5. Now this isn't the answer to the question because remember, it says, what is the result? And that means after we add the 150, remember it said increased by. Okay, so we have my original 75 plus we're adding my 150%. So we want to go ahead and do that. And we find our 187.5 as our solution. So make sure that you're answering the question that they ask you, not just what the percentage is. All right. Okay. So that ends our examples for the day. You guys have some assignment to be working on now. Most of you should finish this with some extra time during the hour. Make sure you take a look at your grades. Your core test has been put into your grade. Your algebra test will be in there by tomorrow. So if you want to see it, see your core test, you can go ahead and look in your grades today. Make sure you grab some extra work when you're done working on your math assignment, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow. See you then.